On today's episode of Identity, entrepreneur and television creative Mpumi Mbethe is in the Identity coffee shop. We learn how to make yummy vegetarian meals with the Brahma Kumaris. Our What's Happening segment features a delectable cooking app. We also help you get green fingers with our website review. And we play out with an Afrikaans love song.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Seyicwebe insimbi yelishumi nakunye lokusho ukuthi isikhathi se-Identity naMpumi Mbethe. Today is World Arthritis Day. This day was established in 1996 by Arthritis and Rheumatism International, ARI, to raise awareness and highlight support for people living with rheumatic and musculoskeletal diseases, or RMDs. This year's theme is Living Better, Aging Well, which aims to promote healthy aging for those living with RMDs. Mzansi, asitfoleni lwati letimbangela tingomba netimbawu taletifo. Time now to serve up some inspiration. For starters, let's meet today's guest. The young woman joining me today is an achiever of note and believes that opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. At only 24 years old, she is the owner of 3 successful businesses: Transporting Services SA, Morendwa Printing Services, and Lapeng Guest House. She also has a passion for the arts and fuels it by working as a theatrical actress as well as behind the scenes in the TV production industry. Running 3 businesses and holding down a full-time job is not something that everyone can pull off. So I want to find out where Mpumi Mbethe gets her energy and tenacity from. Mpumi, welcome to Identity.
Thank you very much for having me.
I want to talk about your CV. It's long. You have a master's in the arts and you're running 3 businesses and you have a full-time job. Where do you get the time?
I'm one person that believes that everybody can do multitasking. If a single mom of 3 can be a mom, be a worker, and be anything within a household, so can I. So if life gives me 100 activities within 24 hours, I can do it.
Have you always been this ambitious in life?
I've always been ambitious. Without ambition, I don't think you can be anywhere in life.
Bakubita ngamabasuthu ekhaya. Umuntu nje lokhule namabasuthu utathi bongumuntu lonjani nawuncane.
Whoever grew up with me knows that I was rough. Any parent wouldn't want their kids to be next to me. Whenever I passed the street, they would lock their gates. They would ask me, please stay away from my kid.
And how did you change from being this rough tomboy girl that just played with the boys in the streets to a very polished businesswoman?
There comes a time in life where you realize that life is too short. You can't always be focused on something that is rough. So you have to kick out of the bad and get into the good.
Take me through your school years. Were you an achiever, nasesikolweni, academic, sports?
At school, I never really received any awards, but I achieved marks that were acceptable for me to go further.
And then you decided to go study at the University of Witwatersrand. Take me through those years.
I matriculated in 2009. And in 2010, I told myself that I wanted to take a gap year. But then again, I thought, why gap when I can be a millionaire within the next 3 to 4 years? So I went to study adverts. I studied arts and drama, and yeah.
And then you went into business. How did that venture come about?
I started being in the business industry in 2009 with my dad actually introduced me to the entrepreneurship world.
And how do you juggle between your job and your 3 businesses?
I've got time to juggle everything, but I set standards. I don't treat any of my jobs any different from any. I treat my business the same way as I'll treat my 24/7 job.
You are very young and you sound so focused. Kunemuntu lomusha lokubukile nyalo lothi wenda ngani khona mhlambe ingolo lethite lekuthatako.
I'm encouraged by God. I'm a high believer of God, and I highly believe in the saying that God put me on earth for a purpose. He wouldn't have just put me here if he didn't really have a purpose for me. So that's what keeps me going.
But as you would imagine in the journey of life, kunema challenges lesibukana nawo, kunetimo letmatima lesindlula kito, yini lekusite ukuthi undlule nawe kuleto timo empilweni yakho.
I push myself together with the support of my dad. My dad is my mom, he's my dad, he's my friend, he's my everything. He's been there since day one. Since from my fresh age, he's been there. So he's one person that keeps me going even when things really seem to be tough.
And what are some of the things loti funze kubabu wakho ebuncaneni bakho lot apply empilweni yakho nawe nyalo?
From my dad, I've learned to be strong. I've learned to take the world with both hands. I've learned that in life it's either you do it or you go out of it.
What would you say to umuntu lomusha lokubukelile nyalo lothi I'm giving up, I've tried everything, akulungi?
I would say know that God put you on earth for a purpose. You are not here by mistake. You are not here by some sort of any short livings. If you apply that in your life, then you will know that there's something that God has kept for me. I'm not here by mistake.
We spoke about your master's arts degree. We also spoke about your 3 businesses, and you're still studying part-time and you have a full-time job. What more can you possibly do?
I believe in the saying that anything is possible. Nothing is impossible. If somebody says it's impossible, then you must definitely know that they're still living in a world of dogs.
So if you believe in magic, we'll play a little magic game. Okay. If you lost your voice, how would you communicate?
By hands.
If you were a kitchen utensil, which utensil would you be?
A cup.
If the world was ending tomorrow, what's the last thing you would do?
I would pray.
If you won an Oscar, who would you thank first in your speech?
My dad.
If you were a male for an hour, what would you do?
I would treat a lady like an exclusive.
If you could only express yourself in a dance style, which one would it be?
Kwasa kwasa.
Chesa, if you were a hip-hop artist, what would your stage name be?
Pinkies.
And if you were a handbag, which South African celebrity would you like to belong to?
Bonang.
Tata. Thank you so much, Morendo, for coming to Identity. We really loved having you here.
It's only a pleasure.
Murendwa, ufakati ukuthi hard work does indeed pay off. We wish her nothing but success in all her current and future endeavors. After the break, we join a group of Brahma Kumaris as they teach us the essence of vegetarian cooking. Siyabuya nyalo.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Ubukele i-Identity luhlelo lwetenkolo nebantfu labasha, mina ngiMpumi Mbethe. Sibonge ukuthi uhleti nathi. If you've ever considered becoming a vegetarian but were deterred by the thought of living on a perceived dull and boring diet, then today's regional story will certainly help change your mind. We spent a day with members of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization in Lenasia, Johannesburg, where we learned more about different ways of vegetarian cooking, as well as the art of cooking with consciousness. Curious? Then feast your eyes on this.
This is my identity.
It has been said, you are what you eat. The Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization believes that there is more to food than just filling the stomach. They believe that in the process of respecting and caring for one's body, the diet should have a special place.
The aim of today's event is to raise awareness more, to bring about that awareness how vegetarian meals are so healthy for one, but also how it has an impact on our mind, to make people aware how cooking and the vibrations that we put into cooking, how it has an impact on our mind and our body.
I think for me, we live in a very busy life, and often we want knowledge. We want, there might be the inclination to become vegetarian, for example. But the most common for me question out there is, what do you eat as a vegetarian? And I guess a course such as the one we had today is to just show people that it can actually be easier to cook vegetarian dishes, health aside, conscious cooking aside for a second, and that there are so many recipes out there. So I think it's to create awareness, to give people ideas, to help them transition from just the thought of wanting to be vegetarian to actually becoming vegetarian.
Conscious cooking means to be present in what I'm doing, alert, to stay in that consciousness of peace. Who am I? That peace, to bring that energy, and to bring that energy of love into the cooking, because the vibrations that we put into cooking definitely has an impact on our mind. And when we cook with anger, when we cook with fear and worry, that's the energy that's put into the cooking, and that also affects our family members and everyone else that eats the food.
Your cooking is love and peace.
Coming back to the conscious cooking, I think I'm guilty of this. Not just when I'm eating, or not just when I'm cooking, but when I'm eating as well. You grab a banana on the go and you just shove it down your throat, literally. And no one stops to actually savor that taste. And imagine it was your last banana. Wouldn't you want to really savor that taste? So I think in a similar way, when one is cooking, if one can have his or her mind completely dedicated to the task at hand, it not only makes the experience more enjoyable, but you're less likely to make mistakes. You can always add more salt after, but you can never take out too much salt. And I think something we shared with today was the main ingredient in cooking is love. And I think, when you have a home-cooked meal on a Sunday afternoon that mom spent hours in the kitchen preparing, you can taste that something extra.
It's because, it's not an effort to cook. You must love. When you cook, you must put that love in that cooking. So I see that with that consciousness, it really becomes, the food is so nutritious and healthy. And it's so much variety you can make from vegetarian.
We deeply understand in terms of spirituality that through our thoughts, through our words, through our deeds, if we give happiness, for an example, we will always live in happiness. We will experience that happiness, and more so happiness comes back to us. And in terms of spirituality, to work towards being non-violent with my thoughts, with my words and my deeds, and that's why vegetarian meals are important for us.
So yes, it's very easy in this world of shortcuts to take a U-turn or take a quick short left, but what if you stop to say, well, actually I should cook at home, because it's important what I put into my mouth. What I eat is who I am, and also from an energy perspective, the vibrations that went into making that meal also then gets consumed. So I think it's quite important. In fact, it should be mandatory that young people attend such courses.
And it tastes wonderful. The soup is easy but very, very tasty.
I've done the basic course a few months ago, and two things that have been highlighted is living in the present moment and positive thinking. That's for me personally. They've always emphasized on making the food with love, or the key ingredient is making the food with love. So that's something that I'd always like to remember while cooking, and at the same time just enjoying the experience. So I think those are the highlights of the demo today.
At home we only have vegetarian meal, and even they go out also now, even my grandchildren, they want vegetarian food because they say, oh, the non-veg before they used to enjoy, but now since I'm cooking vegetarian, and it's so much variety you can make from vegetarian, so they feel this is better than that, and they're enjoying it so much.
Also something, we're trying to show is cooking can be fun, cooking can be quick, cooking can be easy, sometimes even cheaper. Life is even faster for the younger generation. We're more connected, we're more tech savvy. So it's easy to go to a fast food joint and pick up something for, it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes to prepare. It's in a bag, or you have it on the go and off you go. And we become used to that lifestyle because it's convenient. But is it healthy? Does it involve conscious cooking? Does it involve, that love we spoke about? So I think it's important that younger people attend courses like these to also spread the word and just get the young involved, because the young are tomorrow's leaders, they're tomorrow's adults, they're tomorrow's population. And we need, like if you look at most traditions, how knowledge is handed over from generation to generation, we need to empower the young so that they can carry this knowledge forward.
This is my identity.
What a refreshing story. The Identity team is always on the lookout for stories that will feed your spirit, and we hope that today's story has done just that. It's time for us to take another short break. Join us in a moment for today's What's APPenning segment, where we will be reviewing an app to help you whip up some delectable treats, as well as a gardening website.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Ngiphinze ngikwamukele ku-Identity, libito lami ngiMpumi Mbethe. Sibonge ukuthi uhleti nathi. Entrepreneur and television creative Murendwa Mukwebo got the show off to an inspired start. We then spent time with the Brahma Kumaris in Lenasia, learning about the art of cooking with consciousness. Now it's time to check out what's hot and happening in the world of technology. Here is What's APPenning. If you are looking to spice up your cooking and to add new recipes to your collection, then today's app review is just for you. It's called Foodily. Foodily is a social interactive app where people from all over the world post their recipes. Use this app to discover, share, and organize any recipe from the web. You can follow celebrity chefs, bloggers, or cookbook authors and get new recipe ideas daily. Start by selecting the Feed tab, then click the Find People to Follow button, where you will get a list of tastemakers under different categories. Once you have followed your preferred foodies, you can comment on or share these recipes with your followers and friends. The app also gives you the option to view recipes according to different categories such as popular, seasonal, and new recipes. Save your favorite recipes in an existing folder, or you can create your own folder. With Foodily, you can sort your recipe favorites into beautiful collections, weekly meal plans, and lists that you can easily share. You can also upload photos of your attempt at any recipe. If you are looking to make a meal that includes a specific ingredient or according to a diet type, Foodily makes the process much easier. So for inspiration and new ideas on how to spice up your kitchen experience, download the Foodily app and wow your guests with gourmet dishes. Now that summer is in full swing, there's nothing more relaxing than spending time in a beautiful garden, even more so if it's one that has flowers that you planted. Our next review is a website that will help you put your green fingers in motion. www.lifeisagarden.co.za is an information portal on all things gardening. The homepage offers useful tips such as what to plant and when to plant it. With the Clubs and Societies tab, you can check out gardening clubs in and around your community for extra support. The Info tab offers information on green industry associations, their partners, and other garden clubs. The Garden Care tab offers information on garden care for the exact month that you are in by providing details such as what to plant or sow, what to spray, and how to be water-wise. Edible Gardening is a blog of sorts that gives you recipes to whip up from your very own homegrown fruit, vegetables, and herbs. The Kids Grow tab offers helpful tips on how to make sure kids enjoy gardening too. If you want to know about seasonal planting, then check out the by season and by month tabs. For a list of questions and answers to topics that may not be mentioned on the site, click on the Frequently Asked Questions tab. If you were looking for some simple gardening solutions and support, then be sure to visit www.lifeisagarden.co.za. On Wednesday, the 15th of October, marks the start of National Obesity Week. This day is set aside to raise awareness of the impact that obesity has on the lives of South Africans. It is also aimed at encouraging a culture of healthy eating and exercise in an effort to promote good overall health. Mzansi, asendeni lunjinjolo lufanele sakhe sive lesinempilo. Ngaphambi kwekuthi sivale asikukhumbuze ukuthi kungalula njani ukuxhumana nathi. All you have to do is send an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. If you're a social media junkie, then catch us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Simply search for Identity TV Show on all 3 platforms. Today we play out with an Afrikaans love song. Here is Bobby van Jaarsveld with Rihanna Nel and their track Ian in a Leaf Date. Mpumi Mbethe ngihambisana nelithimba le-Identity sithi liviki malibe lihle luthando netibusiso.